The original Mazda Miata is one of the most iconic vehicles in automotive history, and with good reason. It was an affordable, lightweight, rear-wheel drive roadster that has only gotten better with age. Now, with so much aftermarket support, you can build it up basically however you want. Whether you want to put an emphasis on the track, lift it and take it off-road, or anything in between, you can do it with this car, and that's not even mentioning the insane amount of potential with engine swaps for this platform. With all this appeal though, they have gotten more expensive in the past few years. So my goal is to not only find the cheapest running and driving NA Miata that I can, but also to restore it even better than when it came from the factory. Let's get into it. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I have been looking forward to this day for so long, and it is finally here, so let me fill you guys in on what's been going on. So for what feels like the longest, I've been looking for a new project car. I specifically wanted something cheaper JDM, so I was looking at a few options: the FC RX-7, the MR2, 3000 GT, 300 ZX, and of course the NA Mazda Miata. Now, in looking for this car, there's really only two pieces of criteria that I have. The first is I do want it to be a little cheaper because I am looking for it to be a proper project, not really looking for a completed car. And secondly, I am looking for it to be running and driving. It doesn't need to be good by any means, really just looking for something with some intent from the previous owner to at least keep it around, and not to where she's been sitting for years and years and years. Now, one area that I forgot I could check are insurance auctions. I do have some experience on there. I did buy a parts car for my Fusion, and it actually ended up working out really, really well. So in plugging in a few of these cars, the one thing I noticed is they're a good bit cheaper than what I'm finding on Facebook Marketplace. Now, obviously, they're 30-year-old cars, and there's a reason they're on these sites anyway. But a lot of the reasons are about the same for why they're being sold on Facebook Marketplace. And then on top of that, for these cars to be on these sites, they did have to be driving somewhat recently. And then I came across this listing. This is a 1993 Mazda Miata with a buy it now price of $1,325, which is definitely the cheapest that I found across the board. Granted, there's gonna be taxes and fees and everything on top of that. And this car is also listed as running and driving. You can see the video right here. Some smoke coming up, but again, just showing that intent that it's there. Doesn't need to be good by any means. Now, these insurance auctions give these cars a score out of 50 to show like their overall condition. And this car got a perfect 50 out of 50, meaning that it won't take a lot to get it back on the road. And for its age, this is one of the better example Miatas you're gonna find on these sites. Now, looking deeper, I saw this. It has red interior, which before this, I didn't know that Mazda offered red interior for the NA Miata, so I did some digging to find out which ones they came on, and it turns out it came out on the LE, which stood for limited edition, that it was only available in 93, featuring black exterior and red interior. But more notably than that, they only made 1,500 for the US. So seeing this, alarm bells are going off because I don't think I'm gonna beat the price, the fact that it's running and driving, or the factory options, so I think we have a winner. Well guys, we won the car. Now, full disclosure, I was a little indecisive and decided to buy the car the day before it went back to public auction. Now, I learned that they removed the buy it now feature the day before it goes back to public auction, so I did have to bid on it. The final bid ended up being $1,440. Subtle overpay from their valuation, but I figured I'd be paying fees anyway, so really no biggie. Now, the car should be here in a few hours, but the main thing is it does say it's gonna hail tonight, so hopefully it'll get here before then so we can actually cover it up. So the car made it safely. She arrived at about 8 p.m. She does need a new battery, so we just jumped it to get it off the trailer and brought it into the driveway, and it did end up hailing. Thankfully, we were able to use some outdoor seat cushions and some tarps to cover up the car. But this is gonna be the first that I actually get a good look at this car. So here it is, guys, our newest project, a 1993 Mazda Miata LE. Now, the photos that I showed you guys are from January, so she's been sitting on the lot for a couple months. She's a little dirty. I do want to give this car a wash just to get a better sense of where she's at. But as you can see, it's a very complete car. We got all the panels. I think the only one, at least from just kind of a glance over, that needs to be replaced would be the fender, just because there's a big old ding in it. But the passenger side panels are pretty smooth. They did do the Jeep Halo conversion, but definitely one of my favorite things about this car, the interior is red. Now, it's not in perfect condition, but as of right now, let's give the car a wash. Now, I have two goals for the car in this video. The first is to get it roadworthy. It does run and drive, but does need a little bit of a tune-up, and I'll be the first to say there is a ton that I do not know about the mechanical side of vehicles, but thankfully we have a few mechanic friends, so getting a set of professional eyes to go through it and tell us a little bit more about what to expect and what we should be accounting for is definitely a pretty solid start. Secondly, I want to put together a list of everything that the car needs, because I know it's going to be a lot, but consolidating everything that it's needing can really help streamline the process of restoring this car. First impressions, definitely already looking a ton better. You can even hear how rough the finish is. Now, this car isn't in perfect condition, but it's really not in bad condition either. You can definitely tell that the previous owner put some intent to maintaining this car, with the fact that it still runs and drives, which is definitely really nice. And because in washing it, I did notice there were some rock chips on the door with some red popping through. So this door was probably replaced with a red door, but he did make it a point to get it painted to match the rest of the car. Now from 20 feet away, with the car completely wet, she's looking pretty good, but of course you get up close and then she starts to show her age and whatnot. Now I do plan on replacing a handful of panels and customizing some stuff here and there, so this car will be getting a respray in hopefully the near future, not too far away, but the fact that the car is complete and relatively straight is a big plus for that process. And I'll be honest, I have no idea the process of washing a soft top, but I rinsed it, so it's something. And let me show you guys the interior of this car, because in my opinion that is definitely the coolest part. Factory red interior, one of 1,500 with this produced for the US, and it has seen its better days. I'll at least give the previous owner some credit for using red tape on the seats to, you know, keep the overall LE trim together. The passenger seat is in much better condition, as you can see, and really cool little note that I didn't know, it actually has speakers in the headrest, which I think is pretty cool. Now, just right off the bat, we have a few glaring needs. We need a new shift knob because we do not have one right here, which I mean, it should be an easy fix, but definitely at least enough to point out. We have no head unit whatsoever. We do have the plugs back here, so it doesn't look like it was like ripped out or anything, just looks like it was disconnected at some point. We need door panels, which is probably gonna be a little bit of the harder get just because obviously these pieces being red. But there are like two ways to go about it. One would be to find a used set of LE door panels, which they are out there, they come up every once in a while, or just get a factory set of door panels and reupholster them, which is definitely what I want to do with the seats. We do need a new airbag module for right here as well, the carpet for this rear shelf, and these door sill plates right here. Now the good thing is that basically everything we need for this interior is reproduced, minus the door panels. They are reproduced, just not in red, but I'm gonna wait until this car's back in Austin to really dig into this interior because I'm basically gonna gut it for the most part and just upgrade various components as we put it back together. So here's how I envisioned the car when I first saw it. Top down with the red interior really highlighted. Now we definitely have our work cut out for us, but it is a process and you gotta love the process. So first up is mechanical. We loaded the car up to take it to our friends over at Genesis Body Shop. With delivering the car, we also dropped off a ton of replacement parts. I ordered parts from both Summit Racing and Rock Auto, so we picked up a new gasket set, some spark plugs, wires, thermostat, compressor, timing belt kit, water pump, evaporator, AC dryer, serpentine belt, various AC parts, a new clutch, new coolant hoses, and a bunch of other stuff that ended up just kind of in a bulk order. A big shout out to Rock Auto because they make the process super simple and affordable. Their catalog is definitely one of the easiest ones to work. Now having the engine pulled really helped in going through the entirety of it, and thankfully with all the new parts, everything came back together really well. But that was what the majority of the wait time was, just waiting on the parts. When the car was ready, we went back to the shop to check it out. They gave me the keys and she fired right up, which considering how many times we had to jump this car, it was definitely a nice feeling.
See if she wants to turn it on.
¿Qué pasó?
The windows, check it out.
Oh. Look at her go.
I need to clean them up a little bit, but they work.
The AC now works and the power windows do too. They just need some TLC. And taking a look under the hood to see how this engine turned out with all these new parts, considering where we were, you gotta be happy with that. It was a tight squeeze pulling the car out from behind the shop, but that's the beauty of this car being so small. It'll fit just about anywhere.
Look at how small it looks next to me.
Yeah, the proportions are crazy, dude. This car is puny.
It reminds me of cars. It has a face.
Yeah, it does.
We should go to Sonic.
In this?
Yeah.
Let's not forget that we have no plates, and if
I know.
if there's anywhere that the cops like to hang out, it's at the Sonic. With the car finally back at the house, we can start getting everything together for its first official test drive, because I'm not going to count the trailer to the driveway.
You got man hand, I mean woman hand.
What can I say?
It doesn't have to be perfect, one.
You're good.
Perfect.
There we go. Honestly, driving it with a hat might be the way to do it.
My dad's just saying that he'll be back. It might be almost about empty.
Day one and we have to call your dad to pick us up. Does it feel really easy to like back her up?
Honestly, yeah, she feels easier than I thought she'd be. The AC works.
It's really cold actually. I put the vent away from me because it's cold.
Okay, so here we have a size comparison between the Miata and Yvette's Impreza that we've been working on. So they're about nose and nose. I mean, they're pretty close. Oh.
No, they're not.
Honestly, this is showing more of the disparity because this one doesn't have like a top section. You're sitting up there.
Yes.
I'll sit it here. I'll sit in the passenger section just so I can see the actual. Oh yeah, I have to look up to you. All these red panels are seemingly in good condition. We got cracks, but it's on the black section. The thing is, she's not horrible, but she needs a little bit of work just about everywhere. I want to get everything out and just kind of get down to bare metal. Just kind of go through it, make sure everything is checking out, replace as many pieces as I can, because that's a good thing. They do reproduce a lot of these pieces. But Yvette was saying that the first thing that I should get are wipers. This one doesn't even have a wiper. This is just the mount for it. Never mind. We need wipers. Let's not press it because I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's not press it.
I need to get a scarf for my hair.
And the
For
big
this-
glasses as well.
Oh, perfect. As a little mirror. So you can-
Yeah, I don't think I get one though. Yeah, no, I just get the little warnings over here. Finding out that the gas gauge does work. We were just that low on gas. Now we get to take it on its first joyride. No shift knob.
I like that now.
Now, everything up until this point has led to this, the first test drive of our insurance auction, Miata. Now, the main thing I'm trying to do here is really just be hyper aware of if I feel or hear anything off and run this car through her paces. For being a little run down, she felt pretty good, well balanced and lightweight, but there were definitely a few glaring issues coming up.
Brakes might
Where's
need
that?
some work.
Oh,
That's the
those
brakes.
brakes?
Yeah. We're gonna hang of it.
On the bright side, against what I initially thought, the gauges were actually working.
I wonder how fast you're going.
Oh, the speedometer started working. We're going the speed limit.
So the test drive went pretty well. The main issue was the brakes, which have definitely seen their better days. So I ordered a new set from R1 Concepts. This kit comes with new rotors and pads, but it does ask you to reuse your original calipers. So if we're gonna be reusing these, definitely wanna clean them up. So we got the factory brakes off, cleaned everything up, and I picked up this high heat silver paint for the calipers. And with everything reassembled, these things are looking good as new. Now I do still need to break them in, but it will now be much easier because we officially have plates and a registration for this vehicle. So she will now be road legal. But one thing I noticed in the front, there's really no place to mount the front plates. And looking at other photos of Miatas online, seems like the only real way to do it is to add a mount. So we're just gonna kind of not focus on that for right now. This car also doesn't have a shift knob, so I picked this one up from Jazz Performance. This is their sport style shift knob. It resembles the shape of the factory one, just a little sleeker, and it has a brushed aluminum finish. Considering the LE trim had these speaker grills and some other aluminum pieces, I think matching that with the shifter is a perfect fit. And as for the registration sticker, the area where I live, it is still required. I know that there's some areas in Texas where it's not anymore. And say what you want about the age of this car, but it is technically a classic. Now we get to go and break in the brakes. The different brake manufacturers have different suggestions for breaking in your brakes, but the majority of them revolve around getting to certain speeds and engaging the brakes at different levels of pressure.
And a little rough brake.
Everything was feeling really good, and with the car now road legal, I went ahead and took a trip to one of my favorite places, Whataburger. Everything went smoothly up until I realized there was another glaring issue with this car, the cup holders. So unfortunately, we don't have the insert right here for the cup holders, so I'm just gonna have to try to make do with this. As long as it's not in the way of the shifter, should be good. The drink thankfully survived the trip back home, and it was now time to take this car down to Austin. Of course, had to make a stop at Buc-ee's, and I guess you could say this was the first time the Miata and the Fusion were cruising together, but the car made it with the help of my parents, so big shout out to them. With the Miata now mechanically sound, we can enjoy cruising around in it, but there is still a ton of work to do. I need to fix the headlights because only one of them pops up. Need to replace the turn signals, fix or replace the bumper. Picked up a new set of fenders, which thankfully they are reproduced. They would both need some level of bodywork, so just replacing them would make everything a lot easier. I do also want to replace the hood. This one's in pretty good condition. Nothing too major, just a few dings here and there. But being that the majority of the car so far has been relatively inexpensive, I figured this would be a nice area to splurge. And none of that is even mentioning the interior. We have a lot to clean up in here. I gotta address the steering wheel. This window, for whatever reason, is just not
It goes really slow. I'm not really sure what it is, so I need to go through and diagnose that. Thankfully, we don't have door panels on, so it should be a little easier. I did source a set of door panels, which should help as well. And I've been stockpiling interior parts so that I can kind of go and address a lot of different areas all at once. Because interior stuff, for the most part, is pretty simple, especially considering they reproduce a lot of the parts that I need here. And past that, we do still have to address the suspension. I'm sure you guys have seen in the footage, it's pretty stiff and it makes a little creaking noise going over basically anything. And then we can paint it. So yeah, plenty left to do, but I'm really excited. It's gonna be a really fun project, so make sure to stay tuned. If you made it this far in the video, I just wanna say a massive thank you. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It's one of the best ways to support the channel. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.